My name is Richard Walton. I'm a Congleton Town Councillor and I'm also a trustee and founder member of Congleton Pride. Yeah, I guess I'm here. We had an incident with a gentleman who put some very negative comments on our Congleton Pride page. And though in themselves, besides they were offensive, they caused a great deal of upset with a lot of people, because a lot of the people I sort of work with and represent feel very vulnerable to such things. So this kind of comment just reinforces that stereotype and makes them feel even more vulnerable. So we reported it to the various authorities, including the police, and the police took it very seriously, which was really pleased. And ultimately, as a process of that, they referred, would we be willing to deal with his matter through Remedi? And we thought that, subject to the sort of perpetrator being the appropriate person, yeah, I thought it was excellent, because our aim is to educate, not to bang people up in prison forever and a day, right? And that proved to be the process. It was to make the perpetrator think, and we thought this was ideal, right? Because we're not there as a pride group combative with the world. You know, we just want to make people think about their actions and how it affects other people. And that clearly worked really effectively with this perpetrator. And initially, we contacted the police, right, who took a statement and took that matter really seriously, investigated, and then a little while down the line, because the police officer went off sick, it took a little bit of time, but that was not a problem. And then contacted us again and said, we've just visited the perpetrator's place of work and invited them in for an interview. So they did their legal, whatever police do. And as a process of that, they actually suggested that would we be willing to deal with that as in this form. And we, having looked into it, I thought it was a really positive thing to do. Well, they did a lot of work, as I understand. I mean, there's confidentiality, which I completely understand, and that was really good about Remedi. You know, no one was breaking anyone's confidences, and they were also really respectful of, you know, if anyone was triggered, so on and so forth. I'm glad to say that I haven't been on that particular case, though the people it affected definitely were. That's why they reached out for help. So they went through their process, and yeah, I thought that was really useful. Yeah, definitely, because they felt that their issues were being taken seriously, and I'm not here to sort of talk about the police, but the view from some members of our Pride group were, what's the point of taking it to the police? Nothing will be done. And this was really positive, that we could go back. No, it is worth reporting. And to be fair, the police say report absolutely everything, and it's getting members to actually do that. And so that's a really positive thing. And also, having met the perpetrator at the end, and I'm going a bit off track, I'm not entirely sure, obviously, the process, though I'm led to believe there was lots of working with the perpetrator to make him look at his own behaviour, and he expressed some of the things that possibly led him to that position. But we could go back and say, look, it is worth reporting, and that's, to me, that's the key thing. So the LGBT community felt more listened to, and they felt it was worth making a complaint. And I would imagine, I don't know, but I would imagine that amongst the perpetrators' friendship group, perhaps, the word spread, well, perhaps that's not a great thing to do. So I'm hoping that was useful too. So you've got to select the right person. But it seemed to work in our case. Now, I'd recommend it for the right case every time, because it's not just, it's making people think, not necessarily locking them up, where they'll just come out with the same attitude. I'd really recommend it. I'd really recommend the process. I'd like to thank everyone who was involved. I would certainly recommend it in the right circumstance, and I would certainly recommend that if people do, if they are subject to abuse, or if they are subject to discrimination, it is absolutely worthwhile reporting it, because I've had a very positive experience.